Scores of Palestinians were killed in central Gaza after Israel stepped up its strikes on the war-torn enclave. Another convoy of aid trucks has arrived as the Hamas-run territory faces catastrophic shortages. The third convoy of aid trucks entered the Rafah crossing from Egypt. This is after the first batch of aid was allowed through the border crossing on Saturday. The United Nations says Gaza needs 100 trucks per day to meet the needs of 2.4 million residents. Before the current hostility erupted, the daily average used to be about 50 trucks a day. And so far, there have been no deliveries of fuel. On Sunday, the chief of the UN Agency for Palestinian Refugees warned supplies would run out in 3 days. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu issued a stark warning to Lebanon's Hezbollah, saying getting involved will be the greatest mistake of their life.
שאתם עושים פה ומה ששמעתי עכשיו מהמפקדים שלכם זה דבר חשוב מאין כמוהו. אתם הורגים אנשי חיזבאללה שמנסים לתקוף את קו החזית שלנו. אני לא יודע עכשיו, כשאני נמצא איתכם, אני לא יכול להגיד לכם כרגע אם חיזבאללה יחליט להיכנס בצורה מלאה למלחמה. אם חיזבאללה יחליט להיכנס למלחמה, הוא יתגעגע למלחמת לבנון השנייה. הוא יעשה את טעות חייו. ואנחנו נכה בו בעוצמה שהוא לא יכול אפילו לדמיין. והמשמעות לו ולמדינת לבנון היא הרסנית. אבל אנחנו ערוכים לכל תרחיש.
The UN Agency for Palestinian Refugees say that 29 of its staff had been killed since the start of the war, saying half of them were teachers. The scale of the bombing has left basic systems unable to function. The United Nations stated dozens of unidentified bodies had been buried in a mass grave in Gaza City because cold storage had run out. Israeli Defense Minister Yoav Gallant warned the war with Hamas could take months. Speaking to Sky News, President Isaac Herzog said the Israeli Defense Forces found Hamas files with instructions for making chemical weapons. Analysts say it is not clear whether Hamas had any serious or operational plan for using makeshift chemical weapons or whether the group had attempted to produce them.
This is material which was found on the body of one of those sadistic villains. It's Al-Qaeda material, official Al-Qaeda material. We're dealing with ISIS, Al-Qaeda, and Hamas. This is what we're dealing with. And in this material, there were instructions how to produce chemical weapons. It speaks about arson, and it speaks about various chemicals that come out and produce chemical weapons.
With fears growing that the conflict could spread, Israel admitted accidentally hitting an Egyptian border post. Tel Aviv apologized for the incident, which Cairo said had left unspecified number of border guards with minor injuries. The US president discussed the war with the leaders of Britain, Canada, France, Germany and Italy. He also held talks with the Prime Minister of Israel, Benjamin Netanyahu. In Paris, French President Emmanuel Macron's office announced he would be traveling to Israel on Tuesday for talks with the Israeli Prime Minister. Protesters marched in several European capitals on Sunday. And for the latest, our correspondent Jody Cohen has sent us this report.
So I've been on the scene of a live security situation here in Ra'anana, with a shopping centre behind me having a bomb scare. Now this comes amid yesterday on Sunday, 15 pounds of explosives were found in a child's backpack that the army said was left by Hamas, and there have been security alerts across Israel. Now this comes amid the backdrop of thousands of Hamas terrorists infiltrating into Israel just over 2 weeks ago. The IDF also are said to be preparing for a ground offensive on the Gaza border, and we know that there are also troops in the north, ready to defend against Hezbollah in Lebanon should they escalate further. Now, much like the Gazan civilians have been warned to move from North Gaza to the south of Gaza to get to safety, Israeli communities have also been evacuated on the northern border and on the southern border as well. And people are on alert here across the country.
WION is now available in your country. Download the app now and get all the news on the move.